Did you think, I need to pack this in?
Never.
Why not?
I don't ever give up.
In 2008, the world was falling apart.
What the heck is going on down here? I don't know.
All of a sudden here, we started hearing screaming.
Banks were collapsing overnight.
Definitely a very, very difficult time, and it's not going to get better quickly.
People are seeing this, and those memories of fear are coming back.
Billion-dollar institutions were turning to dust. Stock markets were in free fall. Jobs were vanishing by the millions, and fear had completely taken over the global economy. The Dow Jones dropped hundreds of points in a single day.
Tumbled more than 500 points after two pillars of the street tumbled over the weekend.
The S&P 500 lost nearly 40% of its value. Entire careers, pensions, and life savings disappeared almost instantly. And in the middle of this chaos, one man was about to lose everything. Not because of the recession, but because his rockets kept exploding. By late 2008, Elon Musk had already watched 3 SpaceX launches fail. 3 rockets, 3 disasters. Each failure burned millions of dollars, months of work, and what little confidence the industry had left in him. Tesla was also days away from bankruptcy. His personal bank account was nearly empty. Investors were walking away. Critics were laughing. And yet, when asked later whether he ever thought about giving up, Musk answered with a straight face, "Never. I don't ever give up." That moment, standing at the edge of total financial ruin, is where the story of SpaceX truly begins. Because just weeks later, Elon Musk would launch a rocket that didn't just reach orbit, it would change the global space industry forever and eventually make him the richest man on Earth. But to understand how that happened, we have to go back much further. Back to the late 1990s. This was the era of the dot-com boom, one of the most euphoric periods in American history. The internet was exploding into everyday life. Suddenly, everyone believed the future lived online. And for a brief moment, that belief made people very rich. You didn't need a business plan. You didn't need revenue. If you had a website, investors would throw money at you. Elon Musk was watching closely. In 1995, he dropped out of Stanford after just 2 days and started a company called Zip2, an online city guide that helped newspapers move onto the internet. In 1999, Compaq bought it for $307 million. Musk walked away with roughly $22 million. Instead of slowing down, he doubled down. He started an online financial company called X.com, which later merged into PayPal. In 2002, eBay bought PayPal for $1.5 billion. Elon Musk personally made about $180 million. By age 31, he was set for life. And this is where most people would stop. Instead, Musk did something that shocked everyone. He took nearly his entire fortune and put it into 3 industries where startups usually go to die. $100 million into a space company called SpaceX, $70 million into a tiny electric car company called Tesla, $10 million into a solar energy startup called Solar City. No aerospace degree, no automotive background, no energy industry experience, just ambition. At the time, these industries were dominated by giants. In space, Boeing and Lockheed Martin were pulling in tens of billions in revenue. NASA itself struggled with launch costs and delays. In cars, Ford, Toyota, and General Motors had been refining manufacturing for over a century. Electric vehicles were considered slow, ugly, and impractical. And Elon Musk walked in and said, "I'm going to beat all of you." People didn't just doubt him, they laughed. NASA legends publicly criticized him. Aerospace veterans testified before Congress, warning that letting private companies handle spaceflight was dangerous. Experts said Musk was building toys, not rockets. They said electric cars would never scale. They said Mars colonization was science fiction. But Musk wasn't trying to impress experts. He was trying to fix a problem no one else wanted to touch. Because by the early 2000s, space had become absurdly expensive. Launching anything into orbit cost tens of millions of dollars. Most rockets were used once and then discarded, burned up or dumped into the ocean. The industry accepted this as normal. Elon Musk didn't. In 2001, he traveled to Russia with a simple plan. buy old intercontinental ballistic missiles and repurpose them for space launches. The meeting did not go well. Russian officials mocked him openly. They raised prices mid-conversation. They laughed at the idea of reusable rockets. One of them joked that maybe Musk could send his money to aliens on Mars. That trip changed everything. Because on the flight home, Musk did something critical. He didn't ask, "Who can sell me rockets?" He asked, "What does a rocket actually cost to build?" When he broke it down, the answer stunned him. Most rockets are made from aluminum alloys, titanium, copper, and carbon fiber. The raw materials themselves made up less than 2% of the final price. So why were rockets costing $60 million? That question led to what Musk later called the idiot index. For every component, SpaceX compared the purchase price to the raw material cost. If the ratio was insanely high, the team had to redesign it themselves. A turbopump that cost $200,000 but used $10,000 worth of material? Build it in-house. A latch that NASA bought for $1,500? Elon bought a $30 bathroom latch from a hardware store and slammed it on the table. This closes doors on Earth. It'll close doors in space. Multiply that logic across thousands of parts, and SpaceX's costs collapsed. Then, Musk made an even more controversial decision. Instead of aerospace-grade carbon fiber, which costs over $200 per kilogram, SpaceX would build Starship using stainless steel, costing just $3 to $4 per kilogram. Experts called it insane. It worked, but cost-cutting alone wasn't enough. The real breakthrough was reusability. Traditional rockets threw away their most expensive part, the first stage, on every launch. SpaceX didn't. They taught rockets to land, vertically, autonomously, on moving drone ships in the ocean. When Falcon 9 first landed successfully, it looked like science fiction. But it wasn't just spectacular, it was revolutionary. Because the first stage represents roughly 70% of a rocket's cost. Recover it, refuel it, fly it again. Suddenly, launches that once cost $150 million dropped to around $62 million. NASA took notice. By the time Falcon 1 finally reached orbit in September 2008, just as the global economy was collapsing, SpaceX had done something no private company had ever done before. They survived. And soon after, NASA awarded SpaceX a critical contract that saved the company from bankruptcy. From there, growth accelerated. Falcon 9 launches scaled rapidly. Rockets were reused again and again. In 2023 alone, SpaceX launched over 100 rockets, more than every other country combined. By 2025, SpaceX controlled roughly 60% of the global commercial launch market. Meanwhile, Tesla recovered. Electric vehicles went mainstream. SpaceX built Starlink, a satellite internet network generating billions in revenue. And Starship, the most powerful rocket ever built, moved closer to operational status. Elon Musk didn't become rich by collecting a salary. He became rich by owning equity in companies that redefined entire industries. By the mid-2000s, SpaceX's private valuation crossed $180 billion. Tesla surged. Musk's net worth soared past $250 billion, fluctuating with markets, but cementing his position as the wealthiest individual on Earth. Not because he played it safe, but because he broke rules everyone else accepted. And here's the part most people miss. SpaceX wasn't built by genius alone. It was built by relentless iteration, brutal cost discipline, vertical integration, and a willingness to be humiliated in public, over and over, until the impossible became routine. So here's the question I want you to think about. If the people who knew everything said it couldn't be done, and the outsider with no credentials did it anyway, how many other impossible industries are only impossible because no one has questioned them yet?